Hello, everyone. This is a girl, she's a Palestinian. She lives in the Gaza Strip. She's fully clothed because in her culture, she has to be covered head to toe. And she's all limited by her cultural beliefs and the cultural beliefs of her country and some of the religious beliefs. So in a few years from now, when she's about 13 or 14, she's going to be told that she can't participate in any sports any longer. Not even ride a bike. This is my new friend, Juliana. She lives in the small state of Nayarit, Mexico. She's at risk for not finishing school because of the financial burden that's put on her family, and she might have to become part of the family that brings income in. And this girl here on our Monterey Peninsula beach here, it takes her about 40 minutes to get to the beach to surf. Her family's living solely on her mother's income because her father lost his job. 2 Christmases ago, I went on my first all-girls surf trip. I had only been surfing at that point for about 3 or 4 months. So this trip was the trip of a lifetime for me. It was awesome and amazing. I made great friends. I came back from that surf trip back to Monterey Bay. It was a day just kind of like this, but a rainbow had formed over the bay. It literally went from Monterey all the way to Santa Cruz. And it was unbelievable. And there was just 2 of us out, me and a girlfriend. A few minutes later, a pod of dolphins came swimming by. So at that moment, I was beside myself at the beauty that was happening around me and that I was a part of it. And I sat there in that moment, and a gazillion thoughts and questions went through my head. The number one question being, how in the world did I ever even get here? Because this is where I come from. My father was a migrant farm worker. His family picked fields up and down California. When I was 3 months old, he died in Vietnam. So I was raised by my single mother in an area of East Salinas, in a neighborhood called Acosta Plaza. And to the community at large, it was called Felony Flats. The situation that I came from did not ever make me think that I would be here at this moment. I didn't grow up a swimmer at all. I've only been surfing now for about 3 years. So again, I'm thinking of all these things, coming back from this Mexico trip, thinking about the friends I'd made, thinking about what an awesome time I was having surfing, but also realizing that when I was surfing, there weren't really any girls out there with me. There certainly weren't any young girls out there surfing, whether they were local from the Monterey Peninsula. I kept thinking, if I'm out here, how can I get other girls from where I'm from to get them out here? Because I realized the doors that had been opened for me, and I thought about how could we open doors for other girls, and really all girls, to make it possible for them to come. But I was still thinking about that trip to Mexico, because this is where I stayed when I was in Mexico. There's an amazing place that overlooked the beach. This is the home of the girls that live in the pueblo in Mexico where I visit. And I realized that when I was surfing in Mexico, I wasn't surfing with very many local people, and there certainly were not young local Mexicans surfing out there either. So I'm putting in all these thoughts together thinking, there's probably some barriers for the girls here also in Mexico. And so again, I'm thinking, oh, all these thoughts, what could I possibly do? So we came up with this project. 3 months after that Dolphin Rainbows Day, I launched a project, and it started with 10 girls in a pilot study measuring their visit to the beach and their long-term effects on their self-esteem. Since then, we've served 400 girls locally in Monterey County, bringing together really the diversity of the entire county. So girls have come to the beach from King City all the way to the tip of Pacific Grove, Carmel Valley, Salinas, Prunedale, all over the place. They learn about ocean conservation. They do a beach cleanup every time they come. They get to learn about health and exercise, and they really get to learn how to become proficient surfers. So that's just like the frosting, really, though, because the meat of the project is how do we connect girls locally and help them respond globally to the community of girls that surf around the world, and look at the barriers that keep girls all over the world from participating in the sport of surfing, and how can we here becoming unified with one another and really pulling away that lettuce curtain that that doesn't allow us to participate together, for the girls from King City and all these peninsula girls all over the place? How come now that they've come together and found something in common, how can they use the resources that they have to help these girls across the world? And that's the next step. In Mexico, we've done a few trips. We're going there in a couple weeks, and we get to do exactly what we do here and do it with the girls in Mexico. Beach cleanups. We get to take them out surfing. We work with an organization in the Philippines, and I'm actually traveling there tomorrow, and we're going to duplicate again. We've been fixing surfboards for a little over a year to help repair them, and they've been shipped to the Philippines, and we're going to get to work with the local girls in the islands there, again, to duplicate and do what we do here. But what about here? It's called the Gaza Strip. It's where the first Palestinian girl is from. How can we reach girls in a remote country where they live in a blockade? We can't go there. There's no way we're going to be able to go and do surf clinics there. But what we've come up with is a way to support them. And our local girls here have prepared care packages for them. The other part about that blockade is that what we send to them can only be paper or fabric. So we're really limited on what we could send them, but they got it on the other side. So what we've done is unify, again, all of these girls in not just supporting girls in surfing, but they're becoming they're growing a compassion with one another. And these are the three girls from another perspective. I'd like you to think about for a minute, now that you know a little bit about their backgrounds, what they might be thinking about right here. I asked our local girls, what do you think they're thinking about? And they all said, they're thinking about going out to surf. They're thinking about which way to actually get past the break. Or they're thinking about what their next move is going to be, or how fast they're going to have to paddle to get over the break. So all they're thinking about right now is what they have in common. And everything from that grip of the blockade, it's totally diminished. What this little one might be thinking about having to work after she surfs, not even thinking about that. Any family problems that our local girl here is thinking, not even in her mind. So today, what I'd like to provoke you in thinking about, and what this whole day is, and this day around the world really is hoping to inspire in you, is how can you join together, not thinking about the differences that you have. And today, again, you're all here from different parts of our county, and you do have a lot of differences. But I bet you there's some common ground that you could come together with and focus on those things and come up with ideas how you can have a bigger vision and even connect to this bigger TED world that's going on right now today with other youth around the world, and be inspired and be encouraged and know that you can join with one another and do amazing, amazing